I'm Brian Schneider, and this is my wife Heidi. And these are our children, Jackson and Madeline. We're volunteer parents with the March of Dimes. We've done a lot of work with them for supporting other parents that have had premature babies, helping fundraising efforts along with community education.
Well, Jackson was born at 25 weeks, premature. I developed preeclampsia. My blood pressure was very high, and the doctors tried many different things to get it to come down, and just decided that it wasn't safe for him or I to continue, so they ended up delivering him at 25 weeks. He was born 1 pound 1 ounce, 10 inches long. We had prenatal care every month and up to twice a week. And everything was fine up until that week that we delivered.
Heidi had actually seen the doctor on the Tuesday of that week, and everything was fine. And that Friday she was admitted to the hospital with blood pressures that were extremely elevated. They did all kinds of tests, diagnosed the preeclampsia, and weren't able to control the blood pressure. And on Monday evening, Jackson was born. It turns out afterwards that Heidi has a gene mutation that could be tested for, can be identified, and it's a condition that can be treated through continued prenatal care for our pregnancy with Madeline. Jackson, born at 25 weeks, faced a lot of medical challenges. He was hospitalized in the NICU at Bergen Mercy for 109 days. He had heart surgery, eye surgery, central line placements, went through bouts with infection, needed blood transfusion. By the time we brought Jackson home, he had over $1 million in medical bills. And then there was a lot of medical care afterwards that Jackson still needed. To date, at almost age 5, he has had 13 surgeries, multiple surgeries on eyes and ears. He's had physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. Developmentally, he is at where he should be cognitively, and is just a little bit behind physically, and is a little bit more prone or susceptible to other colds, flus, infections like that. With our second pregnancy with Madeline, we followed up with the doctors each week or every 2 weeks with either a perinatologist or an OB, and through the treatments with Lovenox, medication to help Heidi's blood pressure, ultrasounds to watch Madeline's development, and then close monitoring as we got towards the end of the pregnancy. Maddie still needed to be born at 36 weeks because of the condition that Heidi has. The preeclampsia began, but we were able to manage it to 36 weeks. At 36 weeks, she was delivered. She spent 7 hours in the NICU instead of 109 days, and came home with us at normal discharge time. Prenatal care and proper medication made a difference between a couple $1,000s of prenatal care throughout her pregnancy versus several millions of dollars of treatment afterwards without the prenatal care. If she hadn't had that, there's several millions of dollars it could have cost if she had to stay in the NICU and go through that. The cost of prenatal care for us, the time to go to the appointments versus the time of work lost due to a child being in the hospital and having all the other surgeries and all the other complications afterwards. The emotional cost of having a child that you can take to 36 weeks and bring home with you versus a child that stays in the hospital when you leave. In our experience, I don't think there's anything harder for a parent than to have to, well, there's probably some things harder for a parent, but one of the hardest things as a parent is to leave the hospital and have to leave your child behind for weeks and months afterwards. To be afraid every time the phone rings that it's something wrong with your child, something serious, or that they didn't make it through the night. And it's something that, for the most part, can be 100% prevented through proper prenatal care. When you do the simple logic of how much it costs to do an ounce of prevention versus paying for a pound of treatment, it only makes sense to try and provide that care for those mothers. And it hurts me as a person to think that we will punish children in order to save a dollar.
Which in the end really doesn't save any money anyway, because it's costing a lot more.
I can think of nothing that would scare me more than not being able to provide the medical care that my child would need. If somewhere along our pregnancy they had said that we could no longer see specialists to help try and bring Madeline here as healthy as she is, it would have absolutely terrified me, and I would have tried to do anything within my power to receive that care. But I can think of nothing that would be scarier as a parent.